today we will have a long conversation with Karina. It will only be around 2 to 3 hours, Karina.
Oh my goodness.
No. It will be a brief, say 45 to 60 minutes conversation, and we will be talking about your project, which is the translation of a book from English into Indonesian. The title of the book is in French, but the content, thankfully, is in English. I wouldn't be able to guide you through the process if it were in French.
Yeah.
And the title of the book is L'Art de la Simplicité by Dominique Laurent.
Yeah.
This is the book. I have the book here with me. Unfortunately, you cannot see it. But yeah, Karina, you can show the book that you have over there. Yeah. We will be talking about your translation process and what you found during the translation, the problems that you found, and many other things, basically. Hopefully, by the end of this conversation, you can share what you have done with others, especially your juniors and others from outside Universitas Ma Chung, of course. And we can also, show that there are other possibilities of doing a thesis here in Universitas Ma Chung than doing the conventional thesis. I will give you a chance to say hi to everyone, but I would like to say hi first to everyone. I've seen names I know and names I didn't know. I have Ayu over there. We have Fahri, Aksa, or Fatan. We have Pak Patris and Pak Jasmine and Pandiawan. Okay. Well, everyone, this is Karina, and please say hi, Karina, to our guests here.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As you know, my name is Karina, and I'm a student of Universitas Ma Chung, class 2016.
Okay. And you are graduating in a couple of months, right?
Yes.
You have submitted all of your graduation requirements, and you are about to be set to fly.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, Karina, you translated an entire book here.
Yeah.
But Jasmine just said that he has the original French edition.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, that's Pak Jasmine's bragging right, because nobody else speaks French the way he does over here. Okay, and you translated one whole book, which has more than 180 pages. It's
238 pages.
38 pages, and you can be proud of that. Now, had you done translations before this?
Well,
before starting your project here?
Well, actually, this final project was my very first big translation project, because I'm translating that whole much book, but before that, of course, I've done a lot of practices during translation classes, as well as when I was doing my internship at translation company.
Okay, so that was the only translation you had done before you started this big project, right?
Yeah.
And are you happy now that you have completed all this?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I know it was just a rhetorical question, of course. Now, you are one of the students who are good at analytical work. You can analyze literature. You can smile because of that. You like reading, and you can analyze literary works, short stories, novels, poems. But why did you decide to do a translation project for your final project?
Okay. Maybe the reason why I chose translation as my final project is because of the book itself. Because I'm personally not a book person. I don't read a lot unless I have to. Yeah, but
That makes me so sad.
well, that was before actually. Now I enjoy reading a lot. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay,
reading
good.
that book, I was just in love with that book because the content is so great, and that feeling of urgency to share to the people I know is just exploding at that time. And
Mm.
I would just go to like my family or my friends and just oh, go read this book. This book is incredibly awesome, but I realized that not everyone enjoys reading in English, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So there's got to be a way to share this. But then, yeah.
But before going too far,
Yeah.
Karina, I think it is important for you to tell everyone here what this book is actually about.
Okay. So this book is my favorite kind of book because it talks about simplicity, minimalism, like how to live more with less. Yeah, so basically they taught you how to throw unnecessary things and also to throw not only the things in our home but also in our mind and in our body. So it's a complete change. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a book about the minimalism movement, which has been quite popular in the last couple of years, right? We have Fumio Sasaki, and we also have
Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo. Yeah, the Marie Kondo. Her name alone is already a brand for minimalist living, right? Yeah, and I love Marie Kondo and Fumio Sasaki as well, and now we have this book, and fortunately enough, this book has not been translated into Indonesian.
Yeah, that's why.
How come?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you may continue. Sorry for interrupting that. You said there was this urgency. You like telling your parents about the book, and please continue.
Yeah, and I feel like there's gotta be a way to share this. But then, I remember that this study program offers the new program, which was the Creative Non-Thesis program. Yeah, which by the way, I'm really thankful for that. And I took it as my first big step going into the world of translation.
See.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have to tell everyone here who just probably logged on to our conversation here that the English Letters study program of Universitas Ma Chung has several options for final project, and the option that you take, well, depends on what kind of student you are. Some people are very analytical and enjoy doing analytical work. They can choose the conventional thesis in which you start with a background and you have a problem statement and you have a review of related literature and you do an analysis. But there is another strand of thesis that we just started 2 years ago, right? Sorry, last year, which is the creative final project. You can either translate or create literary works, or you can also produce teaching media construction. And what Karina has picked is the translation project. You translated a book from English into Indonesian, but I remember you started in your research technique class. You planned to write a conventional thesis analyzing. Can you tell me what it was about?
Yeah, Well, I don't remember exactly, but it was about feminism. Yeah.
Okay, okay. On what book or
I think it was the short
story was it?
story, I think. By,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Kate,
Mm-hmm. Kate Chopin.
yeah, Kate Chopin.
Yeah, Kate Chopin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, now I remember. There's a story of an hour, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what you were thinking of. Okay. Now, and then eventually you decided to do the translation project
Yeah.
for your final project, and you started working on it for how long did it take you to finish it, Karina?
The translation or
Yeah, translation.
like the rough translation was like one and a half, 1 month, 1.5.
1.5 months.
Yeah, I didn't take holidays.
Okay, you didn't take holidays. Not even Sunday.
Yeah.
Not even Sunday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Idul Fitri. You just went all over with your
Yeah,
translation.
even New Year.
Okay, that's very quick actually. Yeah. Back when I was your age, when I was in the university, I also translated the book while writing my thesis. I was around your age, probably 22 or 23 years old. And it took me almost 4 months to finish one short story collection. And I thought it was already quick because the publisher gave me 6 months to finish it.
Okay.
Maybe they knew I was still a student,
Okay.
but I finished it in 4 months. But look at you, you did it in 1.5 months.
Yeah, but still the rough
And-
one. Yeah.
The rough one,
was-
and then we started
Yeah.
doing the
Editing.
revision, right?
Yeah.
The editing. Now, what did you? Let's start with a difficult one. What problem did you find while translating the book into Indonesian, which is your first big project?
I had a lot of problem in translating idioms. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, because idioms is different with the if we translate it like exactly what it says. Well, it wasn't meant that way, you know. Yes. So I
Okay,
had a
yeah, it has.
yeah, a little time trying to find out what exactly that means. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What did you do when you were stuck with something that is so difficult to translate, like idioms?
Well, of course, I do a lot of research in Google. Yeah, Google has the answers.
Has
Yeah.
all answers. Even when you don't ask questions, Google has answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so Google was your runaway, was well the answer to all your problems with regards to finding translation for idiom. What about interesting things? Did you not find any interesting teachings from or something new during the translation process?
Well, I do have a lot of fun in translating poems because there are a few poems appears there in the book, and poems is like there's these rules, there's these rhymes and numbers that we have to keep in mind, and we have to translate it like from English to Indonesia. Yeah. So yeah, it is fun actually.
Translating. Yeah. I remember. I think I have to tell everyone over here that I was your advisor, so I knew the kind of materials we were translating, and in those books, the book is divided into 3 chapters. I still have it on my Google Drive. Into 3 chapters, 3 big books, and if for every big book there are chapters, and at the beginning of a chapter usually there is a quote from a poem by a Japanese haiku master, or some are from. There is one from Rumi, another from European writers, and it was quite a challenge, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there were many poems by different writers, but then it was you had to make it fit with the entire book that you were translating. Okay. Now, so can you tell me again which particular poem you like from that book, if you still remember?
Oh, actually,
No.
it's on the first part, the haiku one.
Okay.
You know, because
Yeah, haiku by,
the rules of haiku is 575. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I had to make it exactly 575.
Okay.
And I forgot.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Did you like it, or was it torturous?
No, I'm satisfied.
Okay. That's what happens with poems, right? I really enjoy translating poems because to me translating poems is like a recreation. It's a getaway from the well organized and planned life.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I translate poems, but there are also moments when I like to translate actually song lyrics.
Oh,
Song
that's
lyrics
cool.
are basically poems as well, right? Yeah. So you don't know I translate song lyrics?
Never.
I published a whole book of. Come on, that's an insult to me.
I did.
So I recently published a book of song lyrics translation with essays to accompany the song lyrics, and it was a lot of fun for me. I did many of the translations very late at night, maybe at 1 or 2 a.m. while I was in the library back in Arkansas. When I was too tired of writing, I decided to find, okay, this is one song by Queen's, Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's translate it into Indonesian. It was sometimes not easy to do. It took me like several tries to do that. But the moment I finished translating a poem, I felt like I knew a whole new world, and that's the most satisfying part of translating a poem. Yeah, and I hope it's good that you said you enjoyed translating poems there, and you found it was one of the most interesting things in your translation process. Yeah, it can be a good and safe recreation. You don't have to do bungee jumping. Just translate a poem, and you will feel that great sensation of knowing something totally new, totally unusual. And you finished your work in December, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Karina?
What work?
The rough draft of your translation.
Yeah. It was in December.
In December, yeah. You finished translating it in December, and then it took a while for us to get everything done during the process. Now, at the end of the process, when we had the exam and we decided that you passed it, what was in your head, if you still remember?
Finally.
Finally, only that? Isn't there any philosophical thing?
Well, that actually what comes on my mind first, but yeah, after that process of doing the thesis and also during the translation process, I used to be someone who don't really like to think about something so complex, but then thesis forced me to think critically, right? So basically after thesis I feel like it is very important to go out of your comfort zone, because that's the only way for you to grow, become a better person. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read a quote earlier today by somebody. It says that success starts beyond your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I found. I think, I don't know, somebody sent a text to me saying that maybe it was my wife. I'm not really sure now. Yeah. Oh, we just had more people here. We have Pak Daniel, and we have Dimas, Bagas, Cindy. Cindy is our graduate as well. Do you know Cindy?
Yeah, of course.
Cindy is a singer, yeah?
Who doesn't know her?
Who doesn't know her? Okay. Okay, now we will talk about what you are now doing, but let's wait a little bit. Before going there, we need to inform our friends here who are here in this conversation that here at the English Letters study program, we try to accommodate students with their different tendencies, preferences, and ways to express themselves, right? Some people are very strong and critical and good at analyzing things, but some others, they like to create, they like to solve problems, and they like to play with problems. And these people cannot find the kind of satisfaction that they get when solving problems while doing thesis. So we give opportunities to those of you who are these problem solvers, creative thinkers, to actualize your potential through different types of thesis. And one of the most popular one is the teaching media development. So yeah, some people like to teach, some people like to run a teaching business, and these people like to develop teaching media. One of our students now is in collaboration with students from DKV and SE. They are creating an application, a web app that helps people study English or study other subjects using English.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So this kind of student will not find happiness in writing a thesis, no matter how good it is, right? And we try to accommodate these different potentials. Like you, in your case, I think in your case, it's not that you like translation most, but you like to influence people, right?
Yeah, main reason.
Maybe. Yeah. So you said you now like reading, Karina.
Yeah.
What do you read?
Right now I'm currently reading some books about writing. Yeah, how to write well, how to write better, how to write copywriting.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the copywriting copywriting book,
Yeah.
right? Okay. I got some intelligence from somewhere saying that you are now working for a company outside Indonesia, in Australia, as a copywriter.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me more about what you are now doing?
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm not. I'm just a freelancer, copywriting freelancer.
Okay, yeah. A freelance.
Yeah. I'm working with my brother in Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, in creating content for businesses' Instagram account. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's a copywriting work,
Yeah,
right? You
copywriting.
create copies
Yep.
for people's social media or campaign or promotion, right? And how do you like it?
I enjoyed it. I'm still a beginner, so I need to learn a lot. That's why I'm taking an online course as well on copywriting.
Okay.
Yeah, still
So
ongoing.
we're competing. We're competing. I've taken several online courses as well, and I've been reading books as well. But now it seems like you're ahead of me.
Yeah.
And
I'm just still on one course,
I-
not several courses. So you win.
okay, okay. I win by one more course. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Karina, I wanted to ask again about translation. After finishing that book in December or in February when we did the exam, have you translated anything else, or have you been involved with any translation?
Well, actually, I'm currently on a project with my church friends in translating Bible stories. But I'm not as a translator, but I'm as a editor and proofreader. Yeah.
Nice. So you just got a promotion. Either you promoted yourself or somebody promoted
Somebody
you.
promoted me.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm happy to hear that. Now, is there any difference between being a translator yourself and being the editor, somebody who looks at other people's translation and fix what is not right?
Yeah. I think it's different. Yeah. But since I've done a lot of translation and also editing on my translation final project, when I edit the Bible stories and also proofreading it, I feel like it is easier to find out what is unusual, or if there's a mistake or something. Yeah, it is easier after a lot of practice.
Okay. So from this project, now is there any reason why you want to do this? What is your biggest motivation in doing this translation? Do you get paid, by the way, translating something with church friends like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also the motivation. One of the motivation. Yeah.
As professionals,
Yeah.
as professionals,
Yeah.
we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And is it easier or more difficult than what you did back when you were writing your final project?
I think I enjoy editing and proofreading right now. Because I don't know, if I had to translate, it's like I'm still kind of tired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No
But-
such thing as tired, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the other things going around, I think by editing and proofreading it is just better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And besides, you are also working on something, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Working on something on your yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. Who have you? Let me put it in the right way. Who made you translate? Actually, did you have anyone, or was there somebody who made you want to translate? Actually, who made you see as translation as something you can do for a living?
My parents actually told me way before I joined university. Yeah,
Okay.
he's been saying that
So
yeah, you can translate. Yeah, something like that. So I think my parents is the one. Yeah.
your parents showed you that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And did you know that recently we invited translators to come to Universitas Ma Chung. Not recently, actually, it was last semester before the pandemic. We invited somebody who translates Facebook and Google and other online websites, online platforms, and we invited him to come here to tell us about his project and how he started out. And most translators, they do it as a freelancer. They don't have to work in an office somewhere, but they can work in their own rooms. But eventually, when they start getting a lot of jobs, they have to have a team, and that's when this person, Pak Sutarto, started a company that he calls Adi Bahasa. We invited him last semester, I think, when you were writing your thesis here. Now, back to your current project with your friends. Are any of them, or are they English students or no?
No. They're from various.
Various fields, So, is their translation good?
Should I say this? I don't know.
I know. Some of them are watching.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do a lot of editing, I guess. But there still is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have to do. That's the reason why you get paid, right?
That's it.
If you don't do anything. Yeah. Okay. Now, what is your plan after this, Karina?
Oh well, my plan is just continually. Oh, did my screen error or I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. So yeah, my plan is just continually increase my copywriting skill and focus on my work. And I will also do that translation projects that I'm still going on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that probably is.
So, copywriting. So it seems like copywriting is the new deal for you, right? Yeah, it's so sad that you just started learning copywriting while here in our new focus, digital creative and recreative. We are trying to make copywriting one of our say prima donnas here.
Oh, that's
because
great. That's great. I mean,
although
I didn't get to learn there.
Okay.
But that's great for the juniors.
That's fine. Yeah, we started to realize that there are various types of profession related to language that we really need to equip our students to do, and hopefully when they graduate from Sastra English Universitas Ma Chung, they have the skill to start working as a copywriter. And I know a copywriting job is not an easy job because it needs you to keep improving yourself. It needs you to keep opening your eyes, right? How can you find something interesting without opening your eyes, reading a lot, and seeing the progress in the society in your neighborhood?
Yeah, and also copywriting is like a high demand skill, right? Like every businesses, every company needs that. Otherwise, it is very important.
Because when you are in a business and you need to sell something, you need to keep informing people of what you are selling, and you have to inform people in such a way that people find it necessary for them to buy the product or the service. I was so happy to know that you started this interest in copywriting. Now I think I would like to invite our friends here, Karina. if they have any questions, feel free, guys, my friends, people, respected audience, to type in your question. And if you're lucky, Karina will answer your questions herself. If not, Karina will say no comment. Okay. Should we play some songs?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, feel free.
Yeah.
But if the answer is difficult, you will have to pay, okay?
No, that's not hard. It's just about you. Yeah. Because I know
Okay.
you're right now working as a teacher in Universitas Ma Chung, but you also done a lot of translation, and you have a lot of greater experience than me, who is still a beginner. So my question is, how many books have you translated into maybe
Okay.
English to Indonesian or English to Japanese, or I don't know, but
Japanese. That is a challenge for me.
and in what particular area of subject did you translate, and
Okay.
what makes it different? Because maybe
Come on, you have a lot of questions and you bombard me with your questions.
yeah, I'll just ask later.
Okay, I don't even know what was the first question
How
now.
many books?
But how many
Yeah.
books? I have translated probably 10 or 11
Wow.
books. And that's over the course of, well, I started translating in 2003, back when I was a last year student. The first book that I published was in 2004, I believe, or 2003.
Okay.
So 2003, yeah. Until now, it's already 17 years. But I translate on and off. That's why I only translate. I have only translated 10 or 11 books, which is considered not many, as if you compare to, say, translators who keep translating, like Padono. He has translated many more books than I have.
Okay.
Because he keeps translating as well while teaching. As for me, there was a moment when I translated 2 books in a year, but there was also a moment when I didn't translate a book at all for 3 to 4 years. When I was doing my PhD, I didn't get a chance to translate a book. I was too absorbed into something, but I translated songs and poems. And short stories. I didn't publish them in books, but in literary journals for people to read. When I translated translated poems and short stories, I translate them into English, not into Indonesian. So what I did was basically trying to introduce Indonesian authors to the international audience. I translated Joko Pinurbo, a poet based in Yogyakarta. I translated his poems and I published it in a journal, and a short story by Sano Gumira Ajidharma, somebody I admire so much, a writer. The short story was Kunang-kunang Mandarin. Yeah, it's a strong short story, and songs that I love. Yeah. So if you ask me what particular field, it would be literary translation. I translate mostly novels and short stories. Yeah. But there were also moments when I translated a non-fiction book.
And what
was
the difference
the difference?
between translating literary and non-fiction?
Okay. For me, when I have to translate literary works, I feel more like a writer. I feel like I am the ambassador of the work to a new area. So when I do that, I also have to translate it into Indonesian. That sounds like literary work, not just translating for the meaning, but also for the feeling. We cannot just translate to present the meaning only, but to present the feeling and the enjoyment.
That's true.
And that's right. That's why when I teach here, when I teach translation here, I pick literary translation because that's what I enjoy the most and what I think I'm good at. For non-fiction translation, many people are better than me, and it would be better for others to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Right. And so that's the only question. That's what I can answer from your question.
Thank you for the answers.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so do we not have any? We only get love, Karina. We got a lot of love, but no questions. That's okay.
That's fine.
But it would be good if you provide love and question, right? There will be a conversation there.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to tell people who might not like translation now, but can find something in translation, what would you tell them? How would you persuade other people to translate? Especially your juniors.
Okay.
How would you encourage them to translate and consider translation for final project?
Well, actually, if we read something interesting or something that we can relate so much with our life, we have that feeling of urgency that I was saying before, that to share it to the people we know. So, like for example, when there's this good quote in Instagram or funny memes, we feel like we want to share it to other friends, right? So we just post it up on stories or send it to our friends, and so that we can just have a conversation about it or just laugh about it together. And you feel satisfied by that. And I think theirs goes the same with translation. So if you find an interesting book that you love, then I guess don't stop that feeling of urgency, that sense of urgency to share, and translate it, because by translating it you will get the benefit. I mean, the readers will get the benefit, and you'll feel satisfied. And even when you publish it, I mean sending it to the publishers, your hard work will get paid off, right? I mean, that's a great reason to translate, right? I mean,
and
you don't get any disadvantages at all by doing this, right?
That's very wise. That's very wise. I never thought that you would be this wise. But you are wise. So if you find something interesting, share it. Don't just keep it to yourself. There's a quote actually, a quote from that movie Into the Wild. So that's a poster from a movie, my favorite movie, Into the Wild. Happiness is real when shared.
That's true.
So if you're happy about something, a literary work or a quote, then share it. But what is an interesting quote in your definition? Can you give me an example of something interesting that makes you want to share with others?
Oh, okay. There, I remember this one quote in the book that I'm translating, and it says, "Don't be the person everyone expects you to be the person you want to be," because we have that habit to always please others, and we forget to please ourselves. Like we forget to be who we are exactly. And this is what I meant. I mean, after sharing this, I just felt satisfied about it. Yeah. Yeah.
How about now? After sharing your experience of translating, are you satisfied?
Yeah. I hope
Yeah.
the other juniors will also go on translation project like me.
Okay. Right. We need more translators in the world, right? It
connects.
In line with
It connects the world.
It connects the world. I saw a poster some time ago. Don't build walls, but build bridges. And we translators are those. Yeah, we are the bridges of the two worlds, the spirit world and human world. No, I'm talking about Avatar now. That's something else. I'm interested in Avatar now, Karina. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good message for you. I don't want to rephrase it. Let the others remember that if you like something and you enjoy it, share it with others, make others interested in it by translating it. Okay, that's good. And let me remind our audience here again before I close the session that for you it was a good thing that you found one of the most important experiences was when you found the idioms and poems to translate, because it eventually made you think harder and eventually create something. Oh, there's a question here, Karina, from Dimas. Can you read? What is one of the most important keys to be a good translator in your opinion, especially for literary translator? Okay.
I think that question is for you.
But you can answer it since you are now a translator and you have translated poems from the book.
Wow, I think the main point in translating is to translate the meaning, not translating word by word, because if you translate it word by word, it might not the meaning is not conveyed,
Okay.
And especially for literary translation, you need that feeling, as Wawan said, right? Yeah.
So you translate by meaning. It doesn't really matter whether the words are the same or whether every word is represented in the target language. As long as you can convey the meaning well, it should be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me move it because it's too bright over there. Yeah. Okay. Now I will look less professional, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And from me, in my opinion, Dimas, what is the key or the most important thing in translating literary works as, first of all, to really grasp what the author might want to convey with the words. Okay, we cannot really know what the author wants to say with the words, but as a translator, it is a must for us to try to grasp what the writer actually wants to convey. Why? Later on, after you understand what the writer wants to convey, you will get the freedom to express it in your own language to achieve that kind of objective. If the writer wants to, for example, make you feel the beauty of sadness, there are poems like that, right? Then you have to translate it in Indonesian, in our case in Indonesian, using our own words, our own expressions, in order to express that same feeling that in sadness there's beauty. Okay, and most of the times you cannot do this kind of thing with word by word translation. You have to absorb it into yourself to understand what the writer might want to express, then express it yourself. And when you express it, you will work like a writer actually, not like a translator who just presents something, but as a writer to represent the word. Okay, there's another question from Pak Jasmine. I believe this is for Karina. What about cultural differences when we use a different language? Yeah, there is actually one example, right? Do you remember, Karina? You asked me about the use of wine and some other things. Yeah, can you tell Pak Jasmine about that? What did you do when you had to deal with cultural differences?
What I did for my translation is because there's this what should I call? Well, I explained the meaning in the footnote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't really change the translation. I mean, I'm still using wine or something like that, but I will give a note at the bottom of the page to explain it exactly what that means. Yeah.
To give it context, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember now. In the book, the author keeps saying that when you celebrate something, you use wine. Give yourself a glass of wine, or something to that effect, which basically implies that the writer wants you to celebrate your own success, right? While in our context in Indonesia, we don't use drinking wine to express our to let us enjoy ourselves. Yeah, even though you drink, some people drink still they do not use wine to celebrate it. Maybe food or something we eat. I don't know, ayam geprek or something to celebrate something. Yeah, but you give it context. You try not to change too much, but you give it context. Right? Okay.
That's what I did.
That's an important question from Pak Jasmine, who,
Thank you,
by the way, teaches. Yeah, thank you, Pak Jasmine. Pak Jasmine teaches cross-cultural understanding, so it's reasonable for him to ask this cultural difference question.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any question? Thank you very much for everyone who stick around with us and give your loves to Karina and me, mostly me. No? And I hope our conversation here achieves its purpose, right? To let Karina share her experience of translating or experience to share Karina's experience in graduating through translation, which is the title of our program. And also I hope we have introduced enough of the translation as a final project, which is an option that you can pick. Oh, we have another question. Do you mind answering this last question, Karina?
Okay. How could you differentiate between good translation and bad translation?
Okay.
I guess when you read it, you can feel it, right? I don't know.
Okay.
That's for me. I don't know. Maybe
that's from the perspective of a reader, right?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
When I proofread or edit it, I have. I use my reader's perspective in reading. Yeah. So that if there's this phrases that I don't really understand what that means, then I would just read the original and change it to the better one. Yeah. I guess when you read it, you can see it, right?
Okay. That's from the perspective of Karina as a reader.
How about
As
you?
for me, as a teacher now, in my opinion, there are different sets of standards when we have to judge a translation whether it is good or not. If we are talking about technical translation, then the quality relies on the accuracy. If it represents the meaning accurately, then it's good, even though it just doesn't sound right. But if it is literary translation, you have to be able to balance between the accuracy and the beauty as well. Some translators even believe that if you have to pick between the music and the meaning, go for the music. So they go as far as saying that the most important thing is for the translation to be beautiful than to be accurate. So we have different standards for different types of translation. That's a good question, Sasha, which is going to take translation class next semester.
Oh, juniors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, from 2018.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, this is already 4 p.m. Karina, I know you are busy. You have to go back to your desk doing the copywriting job. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for sharing your experience and your wisdom as well now. And hopefully we have another opportunity for you to share your experience with your juniors.
Okay.
And for everyone, thank you very much for sticking around here and giving questions, giving your love, giving your thumbs. Oops, giving your thumbs without cutting them. And I hope we can have another conversation like this in the future with Karina or with somebody else. All right? Thank you very much. 26. Yeah. Do you want to say anything, Karina? You have 20 seconds now.
Yes, just thank you for the opportunity to share it with all of you. I had a great time.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I have a great time, and everybody is having a great time. Okay. Have a great